Good afternoon and welcome to another series or another program in our What's Buzzing at Georgia Tech series. I'm Lacey Whedon, the Director of Parent-Friendly Programs at Georgia Tech, and we are happy to have the Institute Special Events team here to talk about commencement. I was going to say communications, to talk about commencement and how to prepare, what to know, tips and tricks for what's happening on May 5th and 6th. So I'm going to introduce Jillian Cruiser right now. Get her live on the screen. There you are, Jillian.
Awesome. Hey, everyone. My name is Jillian Cruiser. I am one of the Senior Institute Event Coordinators in Institute Communications. I can talk about communications and commencement, so whatever floats your boat. But we are here to talk about an exciting time to be alive, which is graduation, commencement, and celebrating your student. So, Lacey, are you able to see my screen? Just making sure before I change the slide.
Yes, your PowerPoint is up and you are
awesome.
You're good.
Yay. Okay, awesome. So let's talk about the big day or big days, because there's two. So who we are a team of 3. So I'd like to put it in perspective that commencement is, and again, I'm obviously biased, but it is one of the biggest events on campus. And it's kind of the event that the students are here for, right? They want to graduate and they want to celebrate that by attending commencement. So we usually have, especially for spring commencement, we're guessing around for at least one ceremony, the bachelor's morning. I think we have around 9,000 people in attendance from graduates, from their loved ones, from you all. So that big an event is planned by 3 people. And I know Lacey can empathize because she also plans large events like Sibs Day and Family Weekend, and they're a small office too. So please be patient with us with our email address. I was talking to Lacey before this. We are actually in the middle of an office move. We've been kicked out of our offices, not because we did anything wrong, but because athletics is taking ownership of the whole Bobby Dodd Stadium, because we used to work on the field of Bobby Dodd, actually. So fun fact about us. So the main way to communicate us within this time period is our email address. We will be answering emails as they come in the order they come in, and hopefully within 24 to 48 hours, we will get an answer to you. We also have student workers who are not in this picture, but my supervisor is Serena, is with the yellow hat, and in the middle is our newest teammate, Rachel Miller, who actually stole from another office in Institute Relations, and now she's with us. So just remember, just to be patient with us. We'll answer your questions as soon as we can. And we're just a team of 3 planning this large event. So thank you so much for your understanding about that. Awesome. So one of the first events of the weekend in between the PhD morning ceremony and the master's afternoon ceremony is President's graduation celebration. So this is happening Friday, May 5th from 11 to 2 in the Exhibition Hall Midtown Ballroom. That is a huge event where I like to joke with the students. It's just a lot of more photo ops. If somebody isn't able to come to the bachelor ceremony on Saturday, for example, this is a great time that they can come and celebrate your student. So RSVP is required because we like to know how many people are attending this event, but we do not turn any away from the door. So feel free to bring whoever, how many people. We are so excited to have you on campus and to celebrate our students. It's one of our favorite things to do. So make sure that you bring all the bells and whistles. A lot of students bring their regalia so they can have their regalia pictures in front of photo opportunities like the tech letters that you see right here in this picture, balloons. Buzz might be there for a little bit, the rec. We also have a 360 photo booth. If you are not aware of those, the best way I can describe it is if you've seen any red carpet event, it's usually those slow-mo pictures with those celebrities just showing off their gowns. But this way, you show off your student with their regalia, and with you can tag along. So we're really excited about that new addition. It's a lot of fun. Light refreshments will be served, as well as King of Pops. It's a very famous icicle pop. So make sure you come out. The RSVP is at the bottom, as you can see, and we also have, we're going to take a tour of the commencement website, so you'll see where you can get to President's graduation from there. So, yay. All right, another big important thing to have your student do is to register with Grad Images. The Grad Images is the outside off-campus vendor who comes to our campus to take pictures of students at President's graduation celebration, as well as your student at commencement when they are crossing the stage, after they cross the stage, and whatnot. So we are not able to pay for those photos. Those are professional photos that you will have to pay for after, but that's why it is important to register through this link on the bottom right hand of the screen. And so to make sure you get those photos. If by any means you do not receive those photos within a 2-week time period after commencement has happened, feel free to email our office and we can get you in touch with their customer service line and whatnot so you can get those pictures. Okay, great. So Bobby Dodd Stadium. This might be the last time we're in Bobby Dodd Stadium, so be excited that you all are probably going to be the last group in there, which means, and we'll talk more about tickets later, is that they are unlimited tickets. So this is very exciting that you'll probably not have to worry about that. So Bobby Dodd Stadium, what is allowed? So it's kind of like any other football game or sporting event that you've been to, primarily professional and collegiate. So what is allowed? Blankets, stadium seats, medical assistant devices, baby food. Child has to be in your arms if it's a newborn or 2-year-old, probably any like 10 and under. Small clutch and a clear bag. What is not allowed: outside food or beverage, umbrellas, horns or other noise makers, selfie sticks, backpacks, cameras with lenses longer than 4 inches, and strollers. So there's a more complete list on the Bobby Dodd policies clear bag that you can see on the bottom of that section. And if you bring a bag that is not approved by the clear bag policy, there is going to be a bag valet opportunity where you can either walk it to your car or you can bring it to this tent, which is on top of Peter's parking deck and at gate 1, where you literally, it's just like a car valet. You give them your bag that is not allowed inside the stadium, and they give you a ticket for you to get after the ceremony. So again, it's very important because every family is different, every loved one is different to come support our students. Make sure you're doing everything you can to look at that website with a clear bag policy. They're very strict. Awesome. More about Bobby Dodd with guest seating and concessions. So we will, we're still in the process of finalizing our seating charts, but they will be on the commencement website, and I'll show you the page that they will be on soon. So no tickets or guest limits. So bring your whole crew. When I graduated from my alma mater, I have a Colombian side of the family, and they all came in waves. So make sure you come in waves too. We love hearing students get cheered for. It's an amazing feeling to see all you come together and cheer. All of our 100 sections will be open. They fill, so it's first come, first serve. Because there are no tickets, there is no assigned seating. So the doors open an hour before the ceremony start. It doesn't look like a Black Friday line at all when coming into Bobby Dodd, but make sure that you come at a time if you want to get close to the field. Either way, every seat is a good seat. There will be a jumbotron where you will see your student cross the field, and again, you'll be able to cheer for them. Concessions. So we know that commencement might be a little long of a ceremony, but we do have snacks and drinks for guests, the concession sales. So also bouquet sales and Georgia Tech gear will be for sale if you want to get any last minute gifts or flowers. So that will be for sale at Bobby Dodd. And then the Barnes & Noble at Georgia Tech will be open at Tech Square. So if you want to hit up Barnes & Noble before the ceremony starts, you can do that as well. So ADA seating. So wheelchair seating is the only assigned seating because we want to make sure that there's space for our ADA guests. So they will require physical tickets. Your student should have been emailed already on where to pick them up and whatnot. So they should have been given those directions already. If not, that communication is coming, but I remember proofing that email, so it should have went out. But if guests have limited mobility, for example, my brother-in-law walks with a cane, they will not need an ADA ticket just as long as they can go up up or down 1 or 2 stairs, that we usually reserve that those seats in the stadium for that reason. So yeah. All right, we're going to tour the commencement website because this will be your best friend in order to get prepared for the ceremony. Now, again, I did say, I indicated our email, but most, if not all, questions can be answered on the commencement website. So we're just going to take a little tour. And just let me know if you can you still see my screen? Lacey or Ashley? Just making sure.
No, we can't see the screen right now, Jill, but I can post in chat as you go from page to page.
Okay, one moment.
And
Let
then
me just-
Lacey looks like she's on the technical side, so we'll see what we can do on the technical side.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, you need to share your screen again for me to share the computer. There it is. All
There
right.
it is. Okay,
Okay.
awesome. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Okay, great. So this is our commencement website. And Serena, thank you. That's Serena, my boss, who is on this call, who just chimed in. Thank you. Nice to know you're here. So this is actually President Cabrera. That's not really the point, but that's our president in action, what your student's going to be going through. So just scrolling a little bit long, a lot of information that has already been closed or your students know about. So this is, any link can be found on our page, like regalia. Regalia is required in order to participate in commencement. So venue information, commencement FAQs, but other than the links on the main page, you can also find them at your drop-down menu. So for example, ceremony and venue information. I mentioned the seating maps earlier. This is where they will be located. This is a little bit of, this picture is a little bit of what it looks like when we're getting prepared to have our students walk. Let's see, so seating, so this is where we'll have more of that information of which college is seating where. So we're still finalizing those information, permitted items, prohibited items that we talked about earlier. I'm going to try to scroll a little less so I don't get anyone dizzy. Again, bag valet we mentioned either, and then the policy for bag policy. So you can get to basically anything that happened, that's going on our website from any page. So for example, parking. This is where our parking areas will be. We're also going to confirm our map. So you'll have a map on Georgia Tech Maps that if there's a little like a little grad cap on it, that signifies commencement parking or commencement traffic. So we'll have that all on here as well. And weather. So to stay in touch about the weather, we'll talk more about how to prepare for that. That will be located here, and we'll also update websites, whatever forbid that weather impacts our ceremonies. Students, this is another drop-down menu for them. So graduation checklist, they've done most of this already. Regalia, we talked about already that it is required in order to participate. RSVP for commencement is closed. Also schedule of events. So as I mentioned before, gates will open at 9 a.m., for example, for our PhD ceremony that begins at 10 a.m. So these are our guesstimated times on how long each ceremony will take, about 2.5 hours. So if you're wondering how long am I going to be sitting there, for 2.5 hours most likely. And again, like I said before, we have tons of links that will bring you to another page that has information about what you can and cannot bring and other information. And this is another place where we will show our commencement diagrams. Now, your best friend right here is parents and guests, right? So that's you all. So what to expect, photography, memorabilia, and gifts. And again, this brings you to all the pages that are located on the drop-down menu. Before you email us, a good page to also visit on this website would be frequently asked questions. Usually we get these questions a lot, so hence why we made this page. So before you email us, if you have any questions, this is a good resource to have. And again, we love communicating with you, but we want to make sure you get the answer as quick as possible. So therefore, this is your best friend up until commencement day, or even on commencement day, whenever you want to take a look at our picture. So then again, we have accessibility and needs. As you can see, we have again links that go back to everything else that can be found in the drop-down menu. And I know that we also discussed President's Graduation Celebration. That can be found, I believe, right here. So this is the President's Graduation Celebration website. We have the date, the location, a little bit about attire, and this is some of the things that you would be expecting. And yeah, and the parking as well. All right, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So that's a little tour of the commencement website. And I know we can answer questions at the end of the presentation. Awesome. So some tips and tricks. Other than reviewing our website and getting information there to prepare, here are some other ones that you can take note of. So we have a big campus, as I mentioned before. One ceremony might have at least 10,000 people in attendance, right? So that's a lot of people. So make sure you talk to your student and designate a meeting spot for after the ceremony. It can be anywhere on campus. So for example, one thing I can think of is I'll meet you at the Einstein statue. That's one place that you can meet. You can't miss Einstein. If you haven't seen Einstein yet on campus, definitely see him when you come to visit. He's definitely bigger than what I believe Einstein was originally. Charge those phones. I think this goes without saying now that we're in the smartphone era. Make sure you charge your phone. We are sure that you're going to be taking lots of pictures today, so you want to make sure of that. And tell your student to charge your phone, and we'll talk more about that in a second. So student and you charge your phone. You can charge it together. It can be a bonding exercise, a bonding activity. So there will be baseball games, home games happening during commencement weekend. We love Atlanta traffic here in Atlanta, as in love. We do not like it, but please plan for traffic accordingly. So on top of commencement, we will be having baseball traffic on top of the regular Atlanta traffic for the weekend. Graduates should screenshot and print their grad pass. So when I was saying charge your phone, this is why. So your student will be, if not already, emailed their grad pass. That's something with a little QR code that basically they scan when they get up before they cross that stage, and their name will be read aloud. And then that's when you go and cheer for them. So they want to make sure that they charge their phone in order to make sure that their phone is working the entire ceremony. We know that they will be taking pictures and selfies with their friends and their peers, but we want to make sure that they keep that charge for that screenshot. If they don't have a smartphone or their phone just decides to die and mess up, totally fine. We can print their grad pass on the field at a troubleshooting tent. But if they also don't have a smartphone or they don't trust their phone, which is totally fine, I totally get that.
Hey, Jillian, sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Are you back on your PowerPoint now?
Yes. Are you not able to see it?
Yeah. So you need to stop unsharing and then share the PowerPoint again.
Okay. I don't know why that's happening.
Oh, it's okay. It's just the way it reads it. So just
No
stop unsharing and
big deal.
then put it on your PowerPoint and put that back up.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Gotta love technology.
I know, right? As we said. Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
Okay.
Perfect.
So now you can just screenshot this slide and act like you've been seeing it this whole time. Time for your Academy Award-winning skills here. So again, make sure your graduates screenshot their grad pass or print their grad pass. Again, if they lose it, don't worry. We do have a troubleshooting tent on the field in order to do that. So dress for the weather. Last time I presented this, it was going to be a little chilly. This time I'm presenting, it might be a little warm, which is exciting. But make sure that you dress for the weather. It's going to be hot, but you can also make sure that you put on sunscreen. I am one person that needs sunscreen. For this event, I reapply every single ceremony because I need it. So make sure you dress for the weather and prepare yourself with some sunscreen or some sunglasses, whatever suits you. If you're planning celebrations after the ceremony, we mentioned traffic earlier. Make sure that you are having the reservations begin at least 1 hour after the ceremony. And want to take pictures beforehand, President's graduation celebration is a great time to do it, at least for those bachelor students. And make sure to get on campus early. I know you can even get on campus the week prior. We like to call it commencement in the wild, seeing students on campus, taking pictures with their friends, family, and loved ones to have those mementos forever. So those are some commencement tips and tricks. And again, I will send, Lacey is going to be, can also add this PowerPoint to the recording or whatnot. I will be sending her this so she can send it to anybody who needs it. Awesome. Again, preparing for commencement. We talked about this already, but it's really important because you always come across one student who forgets their regalia. So that's the most important part. Make sure to buy your regalia. Your regalia can only be bought at the Barnes & Noble at Georgia Tech. We went through a branding change, so we do have a new seal. So it is important to go get that regalia from Barnes & Noble at Georgia Tech. And then again, as we said, grad pass, those will be sent to your student. You can print or screenshot. All right. So this is the most popular part of the day where we ask all of the questions that you may have. Again, this is our website, or excuse me, our email address. Again, as I repeat from before, we are going through an office move. It's been so much fun. So right now, calling us has been a transition, especially while we work from home this week, while we don't have an office. So contacting us from email is the best way to start, and we'll answer your emails 24, 48 hours in the order that they were received. But before you email us, double check those FAQs on the website because most likely your answer will be on there. So any questions? Oh, Lacey, you're
there I am.
muted.
Sorry. Coming in. It's taking a second.
Yeah,
So we
no,
have
you're good.
we have lots of questions. Serena has gone through several of them.
Thank you, Serena.
Yes, thank you, Serena, as well as I have. But for our families who, when we record this, they can't see the questions. I just want to touch base on a couple of these that, some families who are viewing this might watch or might have. Does a parent need to RSVP to get their seat or to watch? They would just tune into a link. How would they do that?
Yeah. So in order to go to the you don't excuse me, let me dial back. Students' guests will not have to RSVP for commencement. RSVPing for commencement will only has to happen with our students. So if you want to come to commencement, it is a non-ticketed event. It's a first come, first serve basis. If you need to stay home during the ceremony, we will be streaming the ceremony on our website.
Perfect.
And we will also have recordings on our Georgia Tech YouTube page after, if you just want to relive the experience.
Yeah, Serena.
Hey, Lacey, it's Serena. I can pull the big questions and tag Jill because I think I saw some question themes coming in.
You did.
We did have a lot of. We had some great themes coming through. So one of our big themes was going into ADA a little bit more, talking a little bit more about the difference between a wheelchair spot and the ADA reserve spot, and making sure that at what point does a party need to separate for a wheelchair spot versus an ADA spot? How does the party sit together?
Yeah, so thank you, Serena, for that question. What I've seen in previous years, we do have the wheelchair spot and one person can sit next to the person in the wheelchair. We don't want the person in the wheelchair to just be on a lone island. We definitely want to have someone next to them in their party that wants to join them. So if it's just the two of you, so one person in a wheelchair, you will have a designated chair next to that wheelchair spot that you can sit in. What I've seen guests do is that they sit close to that wheelchair spot, excuse me. So there will be a set of bleachers basically right behind the spot. So that's why it's important to get to Bobby Dodd when the stadium or when the gates open to the stadium, so you can just secure that spot behind the bleacher. I've also seen people ask like, hey, I don't want to be separated from my mother. She's in a wheelchair. She's currently with my cousin, stay next to my cousin. Do you mind, going back a row, and so I can be next to him. I've seen a lot of families work together for that too. But to differentiate the wheelchair spot to the ADA spot, again, if you are walking with a cane, or you're not in a wheelchair, we do have those bleachers. If you can walk down 1 or 2 steps from where the designated wheelchair seating is, then we usually reserve that area for those reasons. I hope that clears it up a little bit.
I think that was great. Another question that did come up that you discussed on a little bit, and Jill, you can talk on this, or I can talk on this, was whether if we see ourselves making any changes based on weather forecast and when that information could be coming out.
Yeah, so Serena is best friends with our emergency planning and protocol office. So we get we don't look at our iPhones for the weather. We actually get a full on weather report for the whole week with Doppler index, and it just looks it looks pretty legit. So we really look into work with them to get an honest answer of what commencement day looks like when it comes to weather. So if it were to rain, for example, last PhD ceremony, we found out that it was going to torrential downpour during a portion of the event. So what we did is we moved the event up to start, or Serena, can you correct me? We moved it up to have it start earlier so we would avoid the rain. And we totally avoided the rain. Like, it started little sprinkling at the end, and once the ceremony was done and people were off the field, that's when it started raining. So we like to send out those communications as soon as possible. Serena, is there anything I'm missing or more details that you might have that I do not know of with your communications with that office?
With my BFFs.
With your BFFs.
I would just say, make sure you're checking the commencement website. Make sure your student is monitoring their email. As Jill said, we did move our PhD ceremony an hour earlier, and we moved our master ceremony an hour later last spring, and it worked out just great. It's also possible that we may change up the order of the program within the event. We may move speeches to the end or to the beginning based on when we see the highest potential of weather occurring, so we can do our best at getting every student across that stage. So just check those communications. We will email out and communicate through every channel we can if we do happen to make any of those alterations. And as Jill said earlier, check the weather, dress for it. We do deal with a lot of sun in those stands in the springtime. So sunblock, hats, all great to have. Your student has a mortar board to keep them covered. You may not. So make sure you have that front covered on the weather. I think that was it on weather front. Another question that's come up a few times is some parking, but I think we've answered a lot of that. Would just go to the parking page on the commencement website that will fully be updated with a map. Jill works with our campus services to have a commencement map made. So Monday, you guys should be seeing all of that pop up. I'm just digging through the questions.
Yeah, sure.
Another one that came up was road closures, if we're going to have any road closures. And as Jill's mentioned, we are a team of 3 and we kind of divide and conquer out. Parking is my purview on commencement. So I will let you know, and I'll type in chat here. We will have Techwood Drive as northbound traffic only between North Ave and Bobby Dodd Way. That means if you are coming on campus from the highway or from the varsity from North Ave, you will be able to turn on the campus. If you are coming the opposite way, you will be diverted down Williams Street and pushed that way. So we do make that little one way, but we have a lot of parallel streets, and GTPD officers will direct you around. We do close Bobby Dodd Way, which is the road immediately in front of the stadium. It's often closed for football games. We just allow some limited ADA traffic because that is next to our ADA parking. So again, police officers will work with you to direct any vehicles and make sure we get guests to their spot. I think those were the big ones. Oh, I love this one. I'm gonna make Jill answer it too, see if her answer matches mine. they'd like to have a picnic before graduation. Any restrictions on that and any recommendations on where to go on campus?
Oh, well, it depends what type of picnic. So if you're trying to host a picnic with an off-campus caterer, you would have to contact, I don't have that website pulled up right now. I only have the commencement website. But if you're trying to have something more, fancy, less casual, more planned, I know that you would have to reserve a space on campus as well, depending on if you want an indoor or outdoor picnic, and have it be catered from one of our campus approved caterers. If it is if it is a casual picnic, I would just say, and Serena, I mean, I could get my hand slapped for this one, but I'm just going to be honest. If you just want to bring some lunch boxes or a little picnic basket, go on Tech Green, put down a little picnic blanket and just have it on Tech Green, that is fine as well. But if you want something more planned and structured, you would have to follow campus policies. And I really hope I survived that test with my supervisor on this call.
I said Tech Green too, so don't you worry.
Great. I still have my job. Woo.
You still totally have your job. Don't you worry about that. Lacey, are there any big themes I've missed?
The parking, so I was wrong with parking and it just came up again. We're getting another question as I'm publishing as we speak. So I had said parking was free, but that's because I've always parked in the lots that are free. So there are lots that you do need to pay for. So Serena had mentioned that certain lots, there will be a cost, such as the Georgia Tech Hotel. So, but there are lots that are free, correct?
There are. Jill, did you want me to take lead on this, or do you want to answer?
Yeah, I believe Peters is free. I
Yes.
believe the residential areas are free. And I think that's about it. I think main campus parking should be around the stadium, should be free for the day. But Serena, correct me if I'm wrong.
You've got it all. Lots that are typically pay lots, so any visitor area lots, the hotel lot, a lot of the lots up in Tech Square. If you're paying for that Monday through Friday, it will still be paid on commencement day. But as Jill mentioned and Lacey mentioned as well, any residential lots that are normally used for permit parking for students, those we do have open up around the stadium, and those would be free. We will list when we do that big parking update on Monday, all available lots. Please note it is different based on the day because we are working with move out. A lot of our students are also moving out on that Friday of commencement. So do pay attention if you are a Saturday versus a Friday attendee, because that will change which lots we have available.
So there was a question about if we're emailing students about any changes, can parents get that email? And I'm going to take that one. Unfortunately, no, we do not have the parent email specifically of the graduating students. So what happened is Jillian and Serena would let me know, hey, Lacey, can you post this on your Facebook and Instagram pages? And so I would make that announcement out on our social media. And then of course the website would also be updated as well. So you just want to check that ahead of time too. But your students should be checking their email. There was a question about, is the graduation diploma rolled or flat? I'm not sure if the mom was asking or dad was asking that for like picture purposes, sure. But I'm going to let you answer that one.
Yeah, well, thanks, Lacey. Great question. So as you can see in this picture with this graduate who just crossed the stage, he's very happy. What is in his hand is actually a fake diploma. It's not your real diploma. It's actually something about being an information sheet about becoming an alumni once you cross that stage and what that means moving forward as a Georgia Tech alum. So your diploma, or your student's diploma, excuse me, will be mailed to them, to whatever address that they have on file for their mailing address. So they should be getting it a few weeks after graduation. I remember my master's diploma was mailed in a very stiff envelope. It was flat, but then my undergrad diploma was mailed in a tube. They have yet to come out of those respective. I do not have them framed yet. So anyways, so it could be mailed one or either way, but I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Serena, did you see any others that you thought, there's a question about catering, so I will, I'll drop the approved caterer information in there.
Yeah.
President's graduation celebration. Can you talk a little bit more about that and who's invited? And there was a question about the RSVP link not being on the page, actually.
Yeah,
So Serena,
so-
did you check into that?
Yeah, so the university ticket site was down a few weeks ago, and it came right back up right before I left for Europe. So my apologies for it not being there. But then again, we do not deny anyone at the door. So to go to Lacey's mention of who is invited, everyone is invited. We'll also have tables with representatives from each school. I know Scheller won't be present at President's graduation celebration, and that's because they have their own separate event going on to celebrate students that I've yet to receive information about from that person. So if your student is a Scheller graduate and they want to attend, I will do my best to get back from them. It is a busy time for all of us on campus trying to wrap up the semester and celebrate our students the best way possible. So I am still in touch with that person to get that information, and we'll post that. But other than Scheller, I'm not attending. All the other schools will be attending a representative to give tchotchkes and little swag. And again, we will have a little bit of catering for as much as the event will allow in terms of, our food goes really fast at this event we've seen, but plenty enough beverages. So because we know that it's warm, we want you to stay hydrated. And again, we'll have photo opportunities like the big grad letters that you saw throughout this presentation, the big tech letters that you saw throughout this presentation. Buzz might be there for a little appearance because they have to get ready to go to the master's commencement, and feel free to bring your regalia or your student to bring their regalia. Again, what they have to definitely have their regalia for is commencement. That is, some people forget. So I just want to make sure, tell your student if they haven't bought the regalia, get it now. So yeah,
Speaking
I
of
hope
regalia, if the graduate has someone lending them the regalia from December 2022, is that the new brand regalia from December 2022?
It is. Yeah, so that would be the new branded regalia. So you should be good there.
Great.
Yep.
Any other?
I was going to say another good question that came up was asking if a handicap pass is required for drop off. No, anyone can use the drop off area. We designate the corner of Bobby Dodd Way and Techwood Drive as that drop off. And as we said, we will designate that also on the parking maps that all come out next week. So you'll see that. You do have to have an ADA tag, whether that's a hang tag or on the license plate, to park in the ADA section. But to drop off, anyone is welcome to use that drop off area.
Mm-hmm. And some people think, okay, so I'm going to drop off my guest with the wheelchair and they're just going to have to figure it out themselves. No, we don't want that to happen. So we encourage people to designate a person who will be able to go to bring that guest to the ADA gate, and then the other person can go park their car.
So when will the link be added to President's graduation celebration so that they can RSVP?
Sure, right after this presentation.
Great. Serena, any others that you thought would be important to highlight?
I think those were my big ones. So thank you all for so many great questions. We love getting these kind of questions, and it also helps inform us on how we can be better at updating our website. As we've mentioned a few times, we are doing those final checks this week, and next week, starting Monday, you'll see all the information completely updated. The information there is accurate, but we'll continue to add more details, especially based on this call, giving a little bit more clarifying info. So thank you so much for your questions so we can make our site better serve you.
Yes. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to share one little thing that I forgot to share our last time we did this. It's about our commencement buttons that we pass out in our office. So let me send those.
Yep, and that's only, Lacey will be there only on Saturday, May 6th.
You see them? Yes. So yeah, this is for Saturday's graduation and for President's graduation celebration. We are there as well, and we pass out, oh, I don't know if you can see them, proud parent, and proud sibling buttons. We also have proud grandparent, proud spouse. So we will be there. Our table, parent friendly programs will be there on Friday at President's graduation celebration, passing those out, as well as two different entrances on Saturday, passing those out. We are a 2-person office, so we try and be as best we can at all the places, and we'll have some parent volunteers helping us too. And we will record this, or this is being recorded, and I will share this on our website by Friday, which is parents.gotech.edu. Go under Stay Connected, and then click on virtual recordings, and you'll see it there. I'll also share it again on our Facebook page once it's recorded too. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're excited for you and your families to celebrate your yellow jacket in a few weeks, and we hope you all are doing well. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.